I come from a troubled past, the mind of a double standard. I write with the other.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How y'all doing? My name is Hash Potent. Welcome to another episode of the MenOvHonor podcast. And today we have a special show prepared for you guys, and we just want to dive right into it. Today's topic is going to be just basically discussing, the ramifications and the changes that may take place within the community as well as the law enforcement department with regards to, the incident of Officer Sandeep Diwali, who recently was shot in the head twice during a traffic stop and murdered on the scene. Also, we wanted to touch bases on the issue that took place in Dallas with the ex-officer. Her name was Amber Geiger, and just kind of to inform, because a lot of times, we running around here, we not understanding what's going on, and I felt the need to have an officer present, to speak on behalf, what I'm saying? And I'm so happy that Officer Jeremy Lahar was here to, sit round table with us. So really quick, I just wanted, you guys to take a second and welcome Officer Jeremy Lahar.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here, man. I'm always open to do podcasts.
Yeah.
You're trying to get your viewers up, man. That's a tough task, but hopefully it seems like you're on the right path, man.
Yeah. I mean, I first of all, I want to say, fly brother right here. Yeah, fly officer, man. He came through and he's, first meeting him, he's, his aura is super cool. I was referred to him by another officer who, come to the shop, and immediately he told me, he was not able to do it, but he knows somebody who was perfect for the job, and I'm just happy that I was able to meet Officer Jeremy today. So, really quick, if you could, give us a little bit of your background, like where you from, what side of town you from, how long you been in the force, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no problem, man. I've been on with the Houston Police Department for 8 years, going on 8 years. And I did my first 4 years on patrol on the southwest side.
Wow.
And then left there, and now I'm currently in public affairs and community outreach.
Okay.
And grew up in Houston on the north side in Stewart. Yeah. And went to school out of state and college, played football and did radio up there, and came home, ran the after school program at Acres Homes. Found my love for working with kids, especially kids in at-risk neighborhoods. And, I don't know, just some things just kind of happened. You know what I mean? I never wanted to be a police officer growing up, man, especially in the neighborhood I grew up in. Only time I would see them is when they were coming to take people to jail.
Yeah.
It wasn't really in a positive light, right?
Yes.
And so, but I had some good people that I came in contact with, my godfather, a couple other officers that looked out for me. And that's what made me take a step back, look at it big picture, and instead of sitting back and just talking about all the changes that need to happen, why not get in there and try and make some of them yourself?
Yes, indeed. What college you went to?
Man, I went to a small college, man. We didn't really have a lot of money growing up. I was the first in my household to go to college, so my way out of the neighborhood was gonna be football. And so I went to play at Morningside College up in Iowa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I played 2 years up there, realized I wasn't going to the NFL, and I wanted to hold on to my ACL as long as I could, man.
Yeah, right.
So I went ahead and I stopped playing, but I stayed up there because I was on more of an academic scholarship than athletic, was partial athletics. And I did radio. I had my own radio show and stuff up there, so learned a lot. Got my 4-year piece of paper, came home, and then, went from there.
Man, so you actually had some experience in radio.
Yeah, man, I love it. I love radio, man. I wanted to be. I know you said you from Trinidad, man, but I grew up listening to Mad Hatter. You know, on the morning show.
Oh yeah.
And so you couldn't tell me I wasn't gonna be Mad Hatter. I was gonna be on the Mad Hatter morning show. And so, I used to make my little dubs at the tape, the top 5 at 9 and all that. And I went up there, man. I did color commentary for football, basketball, sideline reporting, and did a couple of hip hop and sports radio shows, man. And it's just funny. You end up being a police officer. I don't have nothing to do with that. But it's all coming full circle now because I get to do stuff like this. I get to speak, do public speaking on behalf of the department and things like that.
Man, honestly, there's so much of a negative rapport when it comes to community versus police, and a lot of times, you know, with actually we have a justifiable reason, in my opinion, you know, why things is this way. I still do believe that there are good brothers that's in uniform. You know
I appreciate that, man. Yeah. One of the things that I live by, and one of the things I talk to youth about when I go out and talk to them when I'm mentoring and when I'm going speaking in a class setting is, I ask them, okay, so when you go to class, you have teachers that you care for, right?
Right.
Love going to their class, that make learning fun, can't wait to get in their class, right? They might be second period, right? First period, you might have that teacher that you don't care for. You get that very rude, very mean, screaming, they don't make it fun. You can't stand going to that class, right? So when you leave first period and you walking down the hallway, do you walk into your second period class and be like, you know what, man, all teachers is, man, they trash, they mean, they can't do nothing. You can't hold every teacher to the same standard, whether it be negative or positive, right? You got positive interactions with teachers, you got negative interactions with teachers. You got positive interactions with waiters at Papa Do's, anywhere you go to eat. You ain't never got to look for it. They got your water stay full. You ain't got to look for the cocktail sauce. It's on the table. Then you got some that disappear on you. But when you go out, you don't go into it with the mindset, man, I'm gonna have a negative situation when I go eat here. Last time I came here, it was a bad situation. Even though it's another way, that's not fair. Right? So it's the same with police. I'm not gonna say that all of us out here doing what we're supposed to do, but the ones that aren't doing what they're supposed to do shouldn't speak for everybody else. And unfortunately, in this profession, when you turn on the news, you know, you're going to see a lot more negative than positive because that's going to get the ratings, right? That's what's going to get you. You ain't going to want to turn it on. So officer so-and-so helped this citizen find their stuff. Somebody kicked in the door and took their stuff. They returned everything they put that person in jail. That's not going to get the clicks. That's not going to get the likes. But as soon as somebody gets in trouble with this uniform on, everybody looks at it. Even if you have somebody that does something wrong in another state, they be like, a law enforcement in general, all y'all the same. Everybody gets trained differently. Everybody has different general orders. Everybody has different rules that they have to follow. Everybody has a different standard that they held to. So that's why I try and get the general public to try and just, you know, take a step back, man, be kind of objective when you watch that stuff on TV.
Very true. Very true. Because honestly, and this is why I felt the need to at least have one officer here, because I still know for a fact that first of all, I've been incarcerated 3 times since I've been here, right? I was blessed never to really go to the penitentiary, but I was facing some stiff charges on the last 2. I'm not your typical career criminal. I just happen to be in a bad situation, and it caused me the consequence of being incarcerated, right? By the grace of God, man, I was brought through each and every charge. Like, it's unbelievable. You know what I mean? The last charge specifically, not to get too in depth, but I was facing 20 years for a domestic situation between me and my wife. And, you know, it was foolish. She felt like I was gonna leave. And, you know, it was a way of, you know, to incriminate me at the time, because I was on my last month of probation, right? So, you know, we made a report. I went to jail. The only thing they had was a CD of this phone call, no evidence. But because I was finishing my last month of probation, I was held with no bond, and I was facing 20 years. Long story short, God did that for a reason, because it brought me and my wife extremely close. Her intent was never to see me to go through 20 years, but she felt the need to prove a point. And, you know, with that, we all suffered, you know what I'm saying? Because I had lost everything at the time. My brother here, he held me down 1,000 because I was working at his shop, And I reached out to him. I told him, I say, bro, I don't know how long these people about to give me, but I would hate to be holding your spot up. You know what I'm saying? So I told him, I was like, you know, you're welcome to give your spot to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this brother would not let me go, bro. He was like, no, indeed. He said, Hash, when you finish taking care of your issue, bro, your spot gonna be right here. And I would never forget him for that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate him for that.
Let that be the least of your worries, man.
Yeah.
Let that be the least of your worries.
That's all right.
Yeah, yeah. And he was solid, you know. But my point is, I was brought through these situations, and I came out without a scar. I did 6 months, and after 6 months, they opened the gates for me and they released me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
On case dismissed.
Okay.
So the time before that, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I paid my dues. But the thing is, in my case, you would tend to get stereotyped right off the muscle. Like I've unfortunately, I've actually been, involved with racial profiling,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually got to see how that feels, you know, verbatim. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it made me aware that these things can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Police brutality is something that I wouldn't wish on nobody, but I know that it can happen. You feel what I'm saying? And my thing is, I would like to make, other people that's in the community aware, because it could happen to just about anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people may want to know, because some of us, we have been to jail. We have had downfalls, and then just because of those falls, those shortcomings, we get thrown into a bracket too. We're stereotyped. I remember having an officer specifically, while he pulled me out. I used to drive a BMW. He pulled me out. He didn't really have any justifiable reason for pulling me out. He said that I didn't put on the signal.
Mm-hmm.
But still, from what I know, not putting on the signal at the time, it wasn't enough to pull me out the car right as he walked up.
Mm-hmm.
From what I was informed, you know what I mean? And he began to, obviously they can see your record from whatever the platform is from the car, and he began to talk loud to me and tell me to shut up, and he began to tell me that I was a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I had my hands up,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a big guy, so I've seen.
You don't make them feel threatened.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, and I explained to him. I say, I see the situation with Philando Castile,
Mm-hmm.
where he got murdered. He was fully in
seatbelt on. Yeah.
He was cooperating with the officer,
Yeah.
and the officer pulled this card of, I was in fear for my life, and fatally shot him in front of his kids and his girlfriend. So I'm just saying that it can actually happen to just about anybody. I'm just grateful by God that it didn't happen to me.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that happened to you, man. And it's unfortunately too often that when I go out and talk to people in the public, we hear those stories like that, man. And I'm not gonna ever sit up here and try and justify why somebody handled you the way that they handled you, or why the situation with Mr. Castro was handled the way it was handled, because I wasn't there. And I can only speak of how I would have handled it. You know what I'm saying? Sorry for hitting on my chest, man. But I can only speak on how I would handle it, and I would tell you, and I would tell my son,
Mm-hmm.
I would tell everybody else in the community, you can't really control who you come in contact with.
Very true.
Right? And as any police department tries to hire people, they don't try and hire people who have those bias, who have those ways that they think in their head, and they're carrying that out on the street, because that's not fair to the public. That's not fair to the citizens, right? And so I think it all stems back to where we were all raised, and the environment that we're comfortable being around. Mm-hmm. And some people get rattled a little bit more than others, right? And so I hear you saying, one of the times that you got in trouble is because you was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That could have easily been me. Just off of association, me being around the wrong people growing up. Now they my boys. I grew up with them. They're not bad people.
Yeah,
they just sometimes they make bad choices, right?
Choices.
And me as being of a child mindset, being of a kid mindset, I'm like, well, I'm not doing nothing wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna get in trouble, and I would put myself in situations knowing that they may be doing something they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And I could easily got jammed up.
Yeah,
So like God brought you through that.
Yeah.
I know God brought me out of that.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate that there are a lot of people that are whose freedom has been taken away because of something somebody else did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I would just tell, I know it makes you uneasy, it makes you nervous whenever you come in contact with another police officer because you don't know who you're dealing with, right? And it's not fair.
It's on a case-to-case basis.
Exactly. And it's not fair for that officer to, he took your license and went and ran it, and that's how you find out that. Yeah. So what they make us do and what we're taught to do is we go get your license and we go run it and make sure that you're not wanted for like hiding 3 people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we got to make sure for our safety, for everybody else's safety in the area. And if it comes back clear, then you be on your way. But what it doesn't tell us to do is go back there, run it, and then if you had stuff going on in the past that has nothing to do with that traffic stop, us come back and start treating you a certain type of way.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, man, like, I believe in karma. And if, like I said, I was on patrol on Southwest, right? And any given day, we were shorthanded a lot of the time, so we ran a lot of calls. So it was a high call volume. So I turned my work card in, it might be front and back. Well, on one call, I might deal with 3 people. The next call I might deal with 15. The next call I might deal with 5. The next call 20. So out of all those people, if I'm going around, I'm doing you wrong. I'm talking to you, I'm disrespecting you in your house where you pay all the bills. I'm putting this person in jail, but they don't necessarily need to be put in jail. I'm coming over here leaving a bad taste in your mouth. I'm going over here, you know, cursing this person out, doing this, that, and the other. Well, you ain't gonna remember me. I mean, I'm not gonna remember all these faces,
right?
Because it's too many people.
But they remember you.
They gonna remember me because that's a bad interaction. That's a negative interaction that they had with law enforcement, right?
Absolutely.
And who's to say that 2 things can happen? One, I could be on the street, and I mean, I'm not the smallest guy, but anybody can get caught slipping to anybody, right? And if I'm at a situation where I'm, you know, fighting for my life, I may need you to help me out. And if I came out and I talk to you like people, I show you respect, you're going to be like, hey, man, chill out. Nah, man, that's a good dude. He's just trying to do his job. You know what I mean? If you're in the wrong, let him do it. You see what I'm saying? Secondly, I could be outside of uniform with my family at the store. Who's to say that I run into somebody, this person, that person? Because I'm just out here doing dirt all the way around, talking to people, being disrespectful, not showing respect and getting it back. That's going to end up catching up with me. So I think if more of us as police officers have that mindset, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that. And then at the same time, the way I was raised, you show respect to get respect. And a lot of times when we come out there, people don't want to see us. They don't. Even though they called us. So even though, you know, it's a situation that they can't figure out, so we gotta come figure it out for them. I know that, you know, I get out of my car and I'm coming into your house. I know you don't want to see me 9 times out of 10. Or you may have just had a bad experience. Your last memory of dealing with the police was bad. I can't take that personal. You see what I'm saying? So if I come out there and I'm talking to you and you up here on 10, I'm be like, listen, man, y'all called us out here. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this your house. You pay all the bills. I'm here just to help y'all out. I'm trying to, it's a problem out here. I'm trying to find a solution. So I need you to calm down. I'm not yelling at you. I don't want you to yell at me. I'm not cursing you out. Don't curse at me. Okay? Because if you keep doing that, then you're going to make me uncomfortable. I have to put you in handcuffs till we figure stuff out. You're not being arrested. You're being detained. You see what I'm saying? But if you just use, this is our biggest weapon right here. This is our biggest thing that we can use to just de-escalate situations, man, is communicating. Your mouthpiece. It starts right here. If you can I tell you, I've been a police officer for going on 8 years. Like I said, the first 4.5 was on patrol. Out of that first 4.5, I did not have to fight anybody unless they were on drugs. Because I'm going to talk you into handcuffs. If you know you did something wrong, I don't determine if you go to jail. The district attorney determines if you go to jail in Harris County in Houston, right? So I got to make that phone call. And I'm going to come back. I'm going to let you know, hey, you call, I'm out here. I'm just a taxi. I'm an Uber driver.
Right.
I'm gonna go drop you off. You made a mistake. I ran it past them. They said, hey, you gotta go. So go around, turn it. And people respect that, man. People respect that. Right. Just like I don't come to your job and tell you how to do your job. Absolutely. Everybody got a job to do. And if we go into it and we show that respect, right, I think it's gonna come back.
It's gonna come back.
And a lot of times it's vice versa. It happens also when you have a traffic stop. Once the police officer approach, you have to make that police officer comfortable. That police officer do not know who is in that car and what's going on in the car.
Yes, sir.
So the proper thing to do is talk to the officer nice. Talk to the officer like he's an officer and he's doing his job. Understand that he's doing his job. He comes to the car, he asks you for your license and registration or whatever. Give it to him. Why do you have to go back and fuss? What you pull me over for? Why you stop me? I mean, why do that? Obviously, you're being stopped for a reason.
Right. And hopefully it's a justified reason, right? Because like he said, he don't feel like his was. So I tell y'all what I go and tell people where I'm at a PIP meeting, where I'm talking to kids, whoever's driving, this is what I tell you. Yeah. So when I'm driving in my truck, contrary to popular belief, other officers can't run my plate and see that I'm an officer. Oh, nobody. Wow. We can't tell that each other drive. I'm just another person driving my truck. Right, civilian. I'm another civilian until they come up there and we may exchange words. And then when I get to the point where I give him my license and he runs it, then he might be able to find out. I'm not gonna just flash my badge. That's not how it works, right? Exactly. So I'll tell y'all what I tell the public. If you're ever in a traffic stop, and I'm gonna tell you why at the end. This is why I do what I do. So if you're ever on a traffic stop, right? If you get pulled over, they put the lights on, whatever it may be. Pull over. If you're on the freeway, get off the freeway. Gotcha. One thing that does, it keeps you safe. It keeps that officer safe, so he don't have to get out and worry about getting hit. You see what I'm saying? Gotcha. And then once you pull over, whether it's daytime, nighttime, roll all 4 windows down. Okay. So I want you to turn the car off. Take the keys out. Okay. With the keys, hold them in your hand. Put your hands out the window. Okay. Now, I'm gonna tell you why you do each one of those things. Okay. And have your license and registration in your hand. If you're able to get it out by the time you pull over. Sometimes it's somewhere you can't find it. Right. And I'll tell you what to do if that's the case. Absolutely. So what that does is, when we get out and we come, we may run your plate or whatever. It may not give us the information that we need. Right. That's why we're gonna have to go up and get your license. Okay. So when we're walking up to the car, we're scanning, we're checking. If you roll all 4 of those windows down, when we look through the back of that window, we can see through it. Absolutely. We're seeing nobody hiding in there. You know what I mean? Nobody sitting on their hands. Because the hands are what hurts us. Right. So we always worry about the hands. Because if you're not watching those, that can hurt you. They can stop you from going home at the end of the day. So when I walk up, I'm looking through the back. Right. I'm looking through the front. Right. If it's just you, I'm seeing your hands out the window. What that does is tell me, okay, the truck is off. I don't have to worry about him taking off and dragging me, running over my foot, or me getting in the chase, right? The windows are down. I know ain't nobody hiding. All those threats are down. So that's putting me at ease, right? So then I walk up. Okay, he's got a license registration in his hand. This person might have some sense. Right. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. So then I'm going to come up. I'm going to talk to you, sir. Can I get your license registration? Do you know why I pulled you over? Whatever the spiel is, right? Then I'm going to get that. Okay, if you sit tight for me, I'm going to go ahead and go back here and run this. Everything comes back. You let you off with a warning. Right. What people don't realize is your attitude determines how that traffic stop goes. And I know you say, well, why you? I've had people do that to me, man. I don't like running traffic, but I do because it's my job when I had to. Right. And so when I run traffic, I had people come up, I said, man, let me do this. I'm going to go back to your back door and I'm going to come back and let's try that again. Right. Because obviously you got something going on. I didn't do it. Right. So don't let your bad day carry over to this traffic stop. Let's try that again. Absolutely. And then look at me. Like, yeah, man, come on. Let's just try it again. I go back, all right, man, how you doing? I'm also like, oh, my bad, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, man, you don't know what I got going on outside of work. I don't know what you're coming from. You know what I'm saying? We 2 people that ain't never met before. Absolutely. And so if you haven't found your license registration by the time I walk up, look, officer, listen. My license registration, I think it's in the console. I'm going to reach over and get it if that's okay with you. Am I good? Yes, sir, you're good. All right, cool. All right, but what I will tell you, if you ever take a CHL class, they're going to tell you, you have to let the officer know if you're carrying in the car. Absolutely. You got to let them know. You have to let them know. That's one of the things that they teach you, right? Absolutely. So the way it goes, man, I'm not going to get scared when you tell me you got a gun because you told me. Yes. But if I'm getting you out the car because, you know, a warrant or something may have come up. And then I find the gun, like, man, why you ain't tell me you had the gun in?
Right.
Then it makes it like, at least this dude had the gun the whole time.
Right.
But if you're like, officer, here's my license registration. I'm a CHL, concealed handgun license, and I have a gun in the car, it's over there in the gun compartment. I say, cool. You don't touch yours, I don't touch mine. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's that easy.
That's right.
Right, but people don't realize that I still get nervous when the police get behind me, and I'm a police officer.
Yeah.
It's just the way that we're wired. It's the way we're wired from watching TV. It's the way we're wired from those interactions that we have.
Yeah.
But I think that if we all do that, which I do, I ain't gonna tell you do nothing that I don't do.
Absolutely.
It's gonna really help out a lot. And the big reason I say to do that is you don't know where that officer just came from.
Right.
Right?
You don't know
He
what
may
kind
be
of stop he just
exactly.
had.
He
That's
may
right.
be running traffic stops,
That's right.
or he may just had a high speed chase.
Right.
Or he may have just had a pawn shop that just got robbed, and he was the first one on scene, and they got away. But that adrenaline, you don't know
It's
that.
still pumping.
It's
Yeah.
it go up and it go down. It go up and go
Yeah.
down. Or he may have just come from a scene where it was a car accident. He just saw some people lose their life.
Right.
Like, you don't know that.
Yeah.
And it ain't your fault.
No, I
right?
understand.
But just like your bad day,
Yeah.
it's not fair for you to carry your bad day into traffic stop. It's not
Right.
fair for me to carry those other calls
Understood.
into that traffic stop.
Understood.
So I think it's best for you to do that, to keep you
Right.
safe, and it's best for me to keep me safe because it puts me at ease, right?
Man, I
That's
preach
fair.
that in the shop
That's
all
fair.
the time, man. And Hans can tell you, I always tell everybody I talk to when we get in conversations about that, I always say, man, put down all four windows and have your stuff ready. I tell everybody also this. I say, put all your information in your visor.
So you ain't gotta look for it. You ain't gotta
Put
look
it
for
down, take the visor out, have it in your hand.
Mhm.
Officer come up. How you doing today, officer?
it. Mm-hmm.
That simple gesture right there. Make the officer comfortable.
Situation a lot more comfortable.
And I preach that all the time. I said, you want to go to jail or you want to go home?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you can make that decision right there with the way your attitude, you know how your attitude is.
And if it's nighttime, turn your dome lights on.
Yes.
Turn your dome lights on.
Dome lights
Turn
on.
those lights on inside. You know how you
Yeah.
press the little button and all your lights
All
come
the
on
lights
in the
come
car.
inside your car.
You see what I'm saying? So now it's not dark.
It's
I ain't
not
gotta come
right.
up with my flashlight and all
put
that.
the flashlight
On night
through it.
shift or evening
Okay.
shift or whatever.
Because see, like I tell them, the officers don't know what they're approaching.
Yeah.
And like you just said a minute ago, you don't know where this officer just came from because they didn't just start working. You're not the first traffic stop. You're not the first incident that happened. You just so happen to be one of the incidents that happened that day. That officer might have 15 different stops that went 15 different ways.
Yeah, see,
know?
that's why I felt like it's still important for Officer Jeremy here to kind of reiterate that because
Yes,
a lot of times
absolutely.
a lot of us may
I
not
love
be
it.
as humble. Like I'm a humble guy. You know? I'm really I'm more easygoing. I'm not really an aggressor, even though I would get thrown in that bracket because of my size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I instantly am. But I come from a different kind of upbringing, so my approach is a little bit more civil. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, truthfully, when I've ran into a few officers, they actually reciprocate this, and they
Mirror it, right?
yeah, they treat me with respect. Now I've had one or two, a few instances where it was a little different, you know what I mean? But I didn't categorize all police in that bracket. You feel what I'm saying? And I just think that you got a lot of young brothers right now that have been incarcerated, and they may, they need that second chance, or they take their second chance. And they make a complete transformation with their lives, and now they live in civil law-abiding lifestyle. You feel what I'm saying? But they may run in where they could get thrown in that bracket just because of category. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. Well, I'll be sitting here and lying straight to your face if I didn't tell you that when I take your license back to the car and I run it, and it shows me that you had priors for evading on foot. I'm gonna be thinking in my head, all right, this dude
He's
fast.
a runner.
I
Right.
might need to keep an eye on
he's a
him.
runner,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Right.
But you might not even be on that.
Yeah,
you know
you
what
might
I mean?
not be thinking
But
that way.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that when I go in there, I'm reading the rap sheet and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm reading the report. No, that don't have nothing to do with that traffic stop.
Right.
Is it gonna make me, kind of think twice about the traffic stop and be like, okay, I don't know what his interaction was on those other situations. So he might have a bad taste in his mouth as far as police goes. So I'm just gonna make sure that I'm gonna talk to him like I normally talk to him. You know what I mean? And let him know I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And at the end of the day, you trying to go home, I'm trying to go home.
Very true. And I'm not gonna lie, that's one thing that the officer usually explained. I remember having one instance traffic stop, and this is why I felt it's important for you to speak or make mention of the fact that you guys actually deal with trauma, or that I understand this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I also understand that there could be a psychological effect because of this, which would cost the officer with all the media, because the media play a crucial role in the way the public views, law enforcement. You know what I mean? So now it's like, you got cops who really shouldn't be in fear of their life, but they throw this term. I don't know if that's a code. Could you elaborate on that? Is that like a code?
Nah, it ain't so much a code, man. That's just a term that's used sometimes too much. I'm not speaking for the department. That's just me speaking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a case by case basis, man. Yeah. So if some of it is justified and some of it isn't as justified as others. And I can't speak on it's a case by case situation. The one we spoke about earlier, where the man had his seatbelt on.
Yeah.
I don't really understand how. So at the end of the day, before I become a police officer, I'm still a human. I'm still an African American. So it is people don't realize how tough it is as an African American and a police officer at the same time when you see that on the news and you're like, that's not right. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, being human, humans need to be right with other humans. You know what I mean? It's bigger than law enforcement, it's bigger than people. And so if I see something that ain't right, I'm not gonna sit here and have a biased thought like, well, what did he do? Nah, man, if I see something and it don't look right, it ain't gonna be right with me.
It's not right.
It ain't gonna change nothing that I do.
Right.
I mean, because I don't handle myself like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I see, I'm like, man, I hope the truth comes out. That's between them and God. You know what I mean? Because everybody that was out there knows what really happened. Yeah. And I just hope that it works itself out. So what I tell people, man, is what I just told y'all. Yeah. To avoid any of those situations, man. How can you say you in fear of your life if somebody's car is off and their hands out the window?
That's
you
crazy.
Can't. Right. Yeah, you can't say it. Even if the car matches a description of some other car that you're looking for and that car is involved in something that you're trying to track down, how can you say you in fear of your life? How can you say that person didn't give you every reason to go up there and handle your business without having a heightened sense of awareness? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop.
Got you.
So I know they say that a lot in the media, but there's no such thing. Like traffic stops are one of the most dangerous forms of doing your job as a police officer, right? Sure. Because it's the unknown. You don't know who you're coming across.
You don't know.
Exactly.
Right? And just like with Deputy Dollywall, with that unfortunate situation where he lost his life out there, I have a friend who I grew up in the neighborhood with, right?
Yeah.
He became a constable.
Yeah.
He had just went by there and talked to him and saw him. And I think Deputy Dollywall came by him, and when he was running traffic, he was like, "Man, you good?" "Yeah, I'm good, man." "All right, cool. I'm gonna be out here running traffic, man. So if you need me, just bump me. I'll come by and check by with you if you need some a print kit or something, whatever you need or whatever." We're just talking, right?
Yeah. Right.
And he said about an hour later, that's when the call dropped. Now, Deputy Dollywall, from what you saw, was all about the community.
Right.
When I saw that, I was like, man, I never got a chance to meet this man, but it just seemed like we lost a good human being.
Yeah.
It looked like somebody was taken that wasn't supposed to be taken, right?
Yeah.
Nobody deserves that. No. But it's just like, man, you took a good one.
Good one.
Right?
Yeah.
And you could tell by how it impacted the community and everything. And so, no traffic stop is routine. He thought everything was good. He went up there and got the license and went back there to go run it, just like I told you.
Yeah.
And then that man made his mind up that he wanted to do that, right? And then once it's done, you can't take it back. And so I think that with every traffic stop, it needs to be handled like that. Like you need to assume that can happen.
Yeah, that can happen.
And then when you do what I told you, it shows me that that's not what it is. Absolutely. You see what I'm saying? But even still, while I'm running your ID, I need to be looking up. Yeah. Because I've had people get out on me. I've been running an ID. I'm doing it on the computer or whatever, and they're not from Houston. And I think in Louisiana, sometimes they get out and they go behind the car.
Yeah.
And they hopped out the car. I hopped out. I'm like, hey, man, what you doing?
Yeah.
I said, nah, man, we don't do that down here.
You can't do
I
that.
said, we don't do that down here. Get back in your car.
Yeah.
Because until I tell you to get out, I don't know you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
At the end of the day, you trying to go home, I'm trying to go home. So
Very
I need
true.
you to stay in your car until I tell you what to do.
That's right.
Because all I'm doing is running to make sure you good. You ain't wanted for nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then with that, depending on your attitude, I'm going to determine whether I give you a ticket or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, like you said, some people make the mistake. They get out there and they're like, they want to argue.
Right.
Like, nah, man, the traffic stop is not a courtroom.
Right.
Okay,
Sure not.
Right.
it's not a debate. It's not a place for a debate. If you feel like that officer handled you wrong, right? You feel like he was disrespectful and he handled you in the wrong way. He was unprofessional. Get his badge number.
Right.
Get his name. Ask for a supervisor to come to the location. He has the bump for a supervisor.
That's right.
Right? And then once you get his badge number and his name, go ahead and listen to whatever he got to say. And then you go down to police headquarters at 1200 Travis and you file a complaint.
Wow.
And I know other officers, man, why you I'm not doing nothing wrong.
Right.
So I'm not going to tell you to do nothing. If I come out there and you feel like I handled you, go do it. And then we have cameras on. So those bogus claims
Yes.
of officers handling
It's
people,
recorded.
it's on recording.
That's right.
And then if I say I didn't and I did, it's on the
on
camera.
record,
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's the good thing about the cameras.
Are you guys allowed to take it off when you want to? Or it's just
If
on?
you're on patrol, whenever you come in contact with the public, you have to have your camera on.
Okay.
Now it does get hard. Like a lot of people when they see like situations where I think it was a guy walking down the street shooting.
Yeah.
And then he walked right in front of police officers and then he pointed a gun at them. Well, they ain't have a chance to be like, hold on, press the button and then get out.
Very
like, no,
true.
they had to react.
Very true. Gotcha.
And then they were like, well, why they had the cameras on? What would you have? He barely put the car in park because he dude out in the middle of the street with a gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're saying, but we're taught, our general orders say that we have to, anytime we're headed to a certain type of call, where we're lights and sirens, whether it be code 1 or code 2, or it's a high priority call,
Right.
we have to have our camera on.
Gotcha.
Whenever we come in contact with any type of traffic stop, we have to put ourselves out with dispatch to let them know where we are for our safety,
Right.
Yeah.
for your safety,
Yeah.
and then we have to put our cameras on so that we can record that interaction.
Got you. Got
Man,
you.
that is some good information.
It's,
man.
it's good
That's some great information,
because
man.
honestly, believe it or not, and I'm just now learning, Officer Jeremy, that a lot of people, they suffer with mental disabilities. You know,
Right.
and I'm talking about a vast number of us. This is why some of us, we react, you know what I'm saying, so hostile, because I don't think some of us really are mentally capable to calculate, all right, boom, I need to be calm at this, because I'm from Jersey. I'm born in Trinidad, but I'm from Jersey. And one thing I learned, I know how to adapt. Coming to Houston, I realized it's a big business. It's not a game, you know what I mean? And, you know, I've never been the type to defy authority. That's not my thing. So I immediately would be willing to comply. Now, I may be speaking for a few people that, you know, are willing to comply and still for some reason receive some harsh measures. So that's why it's important that, you know, we talked about what the officers may have dealt with before coming to the scene. Because I really think it's good for these people to know, all right, boom, we got to kind of consider y'all too. Because honestly, unless you give me a reason to be in fear, I'm really not really in fear. And I understand what you're saying, like, why? Because jumping out the car is a no-go for me.
Right.
But they weren't from here though. They didn't know.
Okay,
They
so
thought that was the norm because that's what that's what they were programmed to do. Since they started driving and when they were in another state. So I can't hold that against them.
Yeah,
I just had to let them know, hey,
this is not the
we
state.
we don't do that down here, you know. And
And
you spoke on, you know, people with mental health issues, man. And I don't think, like, until I started in this job, I didn't really realize how big the mental health like community like that is, like an epidemic.
Huge.
Yes.
And you don't realize like you're living in these neighborhoods and there are houses with full, like, it's like group homes where people like full of with mental health issues, and there's nothing wrong with that because they're trying to, you know, better themselves, right?
True.
And but they give us intense training on that, and we have to get we have to go on a yearly basis and get refreshers on that.
Got you.
Just specifically on dealing with people with mental health issues, and you got to be able to tell,
to assess.
You got to be able to tell, and that's in anybody, any job, man. Some people gonna be better at assessing that and realizing that they're dealing with something like that than others. It's common sense. You have a feel for people, and that's what this job is dealing with people. So I can talk to somebody, and they start saying certain things, or they start doing with the mannerism. I'm like, okay, I know.
Right.
I know. I might be dealing with this.
Yeah, because
I might not. Exactly. I might. Well, it depends.
Okay.
It depends. I'll give you an example where somebody could have been in fear for their life, right?
Yeah.
But I wasn't, because I leaned on my training and I leaned on people. So I had a call. It was me and a female officer. We got called out, and it was at a group home, and there was a one of the guys there, about as big as you, a little bit bigger than me.
Okay.
And he got upset. And sometimes with people with mental health issues, when they get upset, or maybe special needs, they get upset. They're on a limit.
Yeah, they can't control it.
He flipped every piece of furniture over in the house, and he took the fire extinguisher and broke every window out in the house.
Wow.
And we knew that coming into it, right? And so she gets out, and I'm looking at her. She's like, I said, let me talk to him. Let me talk to him for a minute, and then we'll see, we'll go from there. And so he comes out in the front yard. He's holding the fire extinguisher still in his hand, breathing hard. And I'm like, well, he don't look like he on no type of narcotics or nothing like that. And so let me just say his name was James, right? Okay. I said, James, man, like you having a bad day, man. He was like, he's just looking at me, he ain't really saying nothing. I said, I can kind of tell. And from me talking to the group home manager, they're saying that you and your girlfriend got into it. I understand. I've been there. You know what I mean? Like, we all get into it, we all get into it. But what you can't do, man, it look like you done flipped over every piece of furniture in the house. So it's all flipped over now. Right, you know what I mean? Ain't no more windows left. So what I'm gonna need you to do, you do me a favor. I need you to put that fire extinguisher down, because there's some people around here that might get nervous with that. Okay? I need you to do that just so we can talk. Right. He's like, okay, so he puts it down. All right, cool. He coming down. I mean, he ain't as upset as he was before I came out there. Yeah. I said, all right, James, man, if you could, man, go take a couple steps from me. Just come talk to me. He come talk to me. I said, all right, James, well, made quite a mess here, and that's okay. I think it can all be fixed. The good thing is nobody was hurt. Are you hurt? No, I'm looking at him. He don't have no cuts or nothing like that. Then listen, if I need to call HFD out there, right? Yeah. And so I said, well, James, look. What we're going to do is, man, I got to figure some stuff out. I got to figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to handle this situation. So what I need you to do for me is, before I ask you that, I got to ask you a question. Do you like music? He was looking at me like, what? Like, I said, do you like music? What kind of music you like? Like, you like 979? You like 937, 102? He shook his head. I said, okay, cool. Okay, I'll make a deal with you. While I figure this out, I need you to come take a seat in my back seat. I'm going to let you put on whatever radio station you want until we figure everything out. He was like, okay. He ain't really saying much. He just nodded. I said, but it's one rule. I don't make the rules. I got to put these handcuffs on you. You're not under arrest. You're just being detained. They come off as easy as they go on. But I need you to come take a seat for me until we figure this stuff out. Can we make that deal? Yeah, you like that? Okay, cool. Put them on, click, click. And the female is looking at me like,
wow.
You know what I'm saying? But if you just take a minute, right, to just assess it.
That's it.
And not see this person as just a big dude with a fire extinguisher who busted all the windows out. Dude, that could have went left. That could have went left. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But all that dude, he was upset, man. And a lot of people with mental health issues, or if they're special needs, they can't control those emotions. You know what I mean? They're either very low or very high. And obviously he was very high. We broke all the windows out. They ain't even press charges on him. Right. They didn't press charges on him. So we ended up taking him. I think we did a emergency detention order, which is where they take him to the psych ward, and they monitor him for 48 hours. Yeah. And then once they determine that he's stable and he's good to go home, they'll let him go.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Man, you know what I wanted to ask you?
That was some good negotiation though, man.
Salar, when it like you said, that situation could have went totally different, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if this is free speech, but even in the law enforcement department, there are guys like yourself, but then there are guys who are prejudiced, racist. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm not trying to put any pressure on anybody, but it's gonna be a different treatment had this guy ran into an officer who didn't give a crap about black people who had mental issues. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How does the suspect, what do we in a community would do in a case like that? You know what I'm saying?
Well, unfortunately, man, you can't look at somebody and tell that racist by looking at them.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like you can't look at a teacher and tell that they're a child predator when you send your kid to their classroom. Right. So if we all live our life scared of what you might come in contact with, we would never send our kids to school.
I got you.
I can't assume that every teacher is trying to take advantage of my daughter or my son. You see what I'm saying?
It's not good.
Exactly. I have to prepare my children to know the signs so that they're not taken advantage of. Just like as citizens, I have to prepare my son. I have to prepare as many people as I come in contact with as what to do on the traffic stop. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I have to let you know what your rights are as far as if you feel like you're being handled or you feel like you are dealing with somebody who has some type of prejudice and they're showing that they're being unprofessional. Go file that complaint. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because when you file that complaint, that person is pending that investigation, they off the street. Mm-hmm. If you don't file that complaint and you just take that and you compartmentalize that, you take that back to the shop, you talk about it, that officer's still out there doing that same thing. Right. But if you go file that complaint,
got you.
It may not be sustained, but then somebody else files a complaint. That's right. Okay, now we got a pattern.
That is a record.
Now we got a pattern. Right. You see what I'm saying? Now we need to get that person off the street because obviously they got some stuff personally that's carrying over to their job, and that's not how we're supposed to do our job. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Right. Wow. So like for instance, in an instance where like Diwali, like you say, unfortunate, man, because I don't know how this happened, but it happens. And it happens countlessly where the wrong folks would get assassinated. Meanwhile, you got folks who, in my opinion, should have been on the other side of that barrel, and they out here running around creating extreme terror for people.
Man, it's life, man. Because it's like you can ask yourself how somebody can smoke cigarettes for 80 years and be walking around here in good health when you got kids full. You got the cancer center full of kids that ain't even had a chance to live their life.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, it just ain't fair, and it just don't make sense. And it's just one of them things. Like, people gonna be people. You're gonna have good people, you're gonna have bad people. Right. And unfortunately, sometimes some of the bad people slip through the cracks and they get a chance to do this profession, and it ends up giving the rest of us a bad look. You know what I mean? But I just want to encourage, just like I don't go into every interaction with people thinking that if you made a mistake and you did go to jail that you're a bad person. I'm not here to judge you. I'm not a judge. You know what I'm saying? And so I go into every situation. You dictate how this is gonna go. If I'm talking to you and you still being disrespectful, you still being belligerent and all that, well then I'm gonna have to put you in handcuffs. Until I figure out what's going on. Because I'm not finna have you pacing back and forth. I don't know what you got on you. You might have something up under your shirt that's gonna hurt me. At the end of the day, I got kids I gotta go home to. So if people just realize, hey, if you come across somebody who's being unprofessional, you feel like they handle you a certain way, you're like, all right, you're right. Let them have you. So what? But I am gonna get your information, and then I'm gonna go file this complaint.
Absolutely.
Know the power that y'all have as citizens, man. Like that might be the third complaint that officer needed for them to take him off the street. But instead of just being like, man, let me tell you what happened today. What is that? What good does that do?
It makes no sense. It doesn't get anything solved.
And then you go back and you talk to a barbershop full of people. Mm-hmm. And you just planted that seed of negativity of an interaction that you had.
Along with TV and everything.
Exactly. Then they leave and they get pulled over. All I'm trying to do is tell them that their tail lights out, because how you know your tail lights out? Unless I tell you, right? Then they cursing me out as soon as I walk up to the car.
You gave birth to,
what I'm saying? So exactly. Be like, hey, y'all, this dude handled me like that. I want to file a complaint. Y'all make sure y'all do that going forward.
Honestly, I think it's important that they know that they can do that, because I think a lot of times we respond on impulse, and it's the human side kicks in. But I think a lot of it comes from the fact that people feel that they have no defense. You know what I'm saying? So they kind of now, believe it or not, the media has set a platform of fear for the people, because if you see it, like you said, there's good officers like yourself who actually will assess the situation logically and approach it with a sense of understanding, whereas what we're seeing on this screen is a bunch of officers detaining innocent people and putting hands on them, and you likely to die getting pulled over for a ticket. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that goes back to what I said, man. Don't even let it get to that point.
Right.
Don't even let it get to that point. You know, just like when you sit down at the table, and they come over there and get your drink order, and then they disappear for 10 minutes, you know if you're finna get good service or not.
Absolutely.
Right? So you know, if you get pulled over, when they do walk up, if you got an attitude, you know if you finna get good service or not.
That's right.
So if you feel like it's finna be bad service, man, let me get through this and get this man's name and go. You see what I'm saying?
And it went well though, because the way I handled myself. Now, I got pulled over by a state trooper. Like, I was making a right turn on red. I bumped and then went. Right? State trooper all the way behind me. He put on his lights, can't pull me over. When he pulled me over, I do the same thing I always do. Put down my windows. I had all my stuff in my visor. And I was like, how you doing today, Troop? Like that. He was like, I'm doing good, sir. Do you know why I pulled you over? I said, I knew. But I was like, no. Like that, right? So he was like, you just blew past that red light. And I said, oh, you can't turn on red? And he was like, you can turn on red, but you have to stop first.
Come to a complete stop.
Like that, right? And I was like, I said, my bad. He said, give me all your information, like that, right? So the officer, the way he was talking, I knew, to stay in a certain area. So I kept my smile. I kept talking to him nicely. He gave me a ticket, but he was very, it was like he was disgruntled. Like something had just happened to him or something. So, but I read that and I saw that. So I said, let me just stop. I ain't gonna ask no questions. I ain't gonna do nothing at all. So he came back. He just gave him my ticket. And then I asked him, I said, yeah, a friend of mine that worked for y'all named Patrick Hadney. He was like, yeah, I know Patrick, but that don't have nothing to do with you going past that red light.
He caught you out.
I got you. Because I always name drop after the whole everything goes on.
I don't want to. You ain't trying to use that to get out.
Now another what you just mentioned about the tail light. I turned in front of another state trooper, and it was late. I had just got over. It was late one night. I think I told you about this. So I have lights under my truck. So I had my lights on, but my license plate lights was out. I didn't know that.
Yeah, how you gonna know that?
I didn't know that, exactly.
Yeah, there's no sensor for that to tell. Yeah. Right.
We had a great conversation. Pulled me over. I was like, how you doing, officer? How you doing, Troop? He was like, I'm doing great, sir. I pulled you over because your tail light is out. I mean, your license plate light is out. I said, oh, wow, I didn't know that. He said, and then your light in the front, look like your red light is projecting forward. He said, if you can, after we talked, we laughed a little bit. He said, man, if you can, just turn your light down some in the front. Beautiful stop, all good. Let me know. He was like, all right, man, have a good day. And I said, by the way, he asked me what 32 degrees meant. And I said, that's the name of my barbershop. I own a barbershop. He was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you had it on your truck?
Yeah, my license plates.
Yeah.
So he said, that's when I asked him. I said, yeah, man, my boy Patrick Hadley. He was like, oh yeah, everybody knew that guy. He said, y'all cut his hair? Oh man, his haircut is terrible. He was cloudy, And he was like, man, have a good night. Yeah. It was a beautiful stop. All because I did what I did too. I was real cool, put all windows down, had my stuff ready. I do that every time, and 9 times out of 10, they always give me a pass.
Yeah, I think it all come back to people, man.
Yeah.
So just like y'all are kind of gauging how an officer is on the traffic stop and what you gonna get from them, that's how I'm gauging when I'm coming up on a disturbance. That's how I'm coming and I'm gauging if it's a domestic violence situation and I have to pull her and separate her and try and get her to help me get her out of that situation. Like we come across so many different you can't plan it, man. Every day is different on patrol. You know what I mean? It's so many different variables go into it. You come in contact with so many different people that you've never met before, and you may come in contact with them again. At the same location, but it's all about people. And to me, like I said, this is only me. I'm not speaking for HPD. This is me. So when at the end of the day, whether it be a traffic stop, whether it be a disturbance, whether it be anything, whether it be, even when I go and talk to kids, man, when I went and spoke at Wheatley, high school, right? Yeah. When I first started talking to them,
Yeah.
They
You know
trying
what
to
I'm
see
saying?
what you gotta say.
I say, what he finna talk? What
What
he
he
talk? You
finna
know what I'm
talk
saying?
about,
By
yeah.
the end of it,
Right.
you see what I'm saying? So you got to get a feel
See,
for
made
your
them feel
for your
comfortable.
audience. You got to get a
Absolutely.
feel for
Know your
the
audience.
people that you're dealing with, that you're coming in. You got to get a feel to see if somebody is a mental health crisis. You
Yep,
got to get a
yep.
feel to see if somebody has special needs.
Yep.
You got to get a feel to see if somebody's having a diabetic situation
Episode,
or
yeah.
are they on narcotics,
Yeah.
right? And do you need
Absolutely.
to call HFD out or give them Narcan so that they don't overdose?
Gotcha.
So it's so many different just ways that you have to assess situations. We have to assess those going into it. Y'all just have to assess it whenever we come in, every blue moon when we come in contact with you, right?
Right.
So
Exactly.
I would just say, like you said, pass that knowledge on, man. Pass
Yes.
those tips on like you've been doing
Yes.
to try and
Yes.
help people avoid, even if they do come in contact with somebody that's having a bad day, because we
Right.
all human.
Right.
And some of us are better at not carrying that negative energy over into our job than others. You can't, there's no reason for him to be afraid.
Right.
If you do everything that we said,
Absolutely.
that's it.
That's
You
it.
got nothing. You know what I mean? I got my hands out the whole time while you running my ID.
Right.
What you afraid of?
Everything. The car's off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that what they do is like we mentioned several times, they make the officer comfortable.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because they do not know. They watching film all day on people just jumping out with guns and shooting at the cops and all that.
Yeah.
Don't nobody want to deal with that, man. I don't want to chase nobody. I don't get paid no extra for chasing nobody.
Chasing nobody.
I don't get. They pay me the same.
Same thing.
To be chasing people, to be in car check, getting out check. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that every day.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
That does me no good. I can hurt myself. That person get hurt. Like, it's so many different things that can go wrong with that.
Right.
I just want a regular interaction. I just want a regular traffic stop. So I can go on to the next call, go about my day, you go about your day.
Right.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I think it was very necessary to hear the perspective of, a respectable officer.
Yes.
To speak on the behalf of what the law enforcement in general, or at least one part of the law enforcement, because we have a bad perception, and it's really just because of what we see. So, like, for instance, like, I wanted to ask you in the instant where, Officer Sundeep was assassinated or murdered, if you will, we know that the aura changes in the community outside when something tragic happened to, civilian. But do you guys have the same effect, truthfully speaking, on the inside?
I mean, it's human nature to, like, when I saw that, and when I saw, whenever I see an officer get injured or get, lose their life like that, it's human nature to be like, dang, that could have been any one of us. You know what I'm saying? That could have been me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But at the same time, when I see the guy with a seatbelt on get shot, and he looks like me, I still had that same thought.
Yeah.
Like, dang, that could have been me. It could have been my son. Yeah. It could have been my friend, my cousin, or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's human nature. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, nah, man, we don't. I'll be lying to you.
Yeah,
just like y'all look at that and be like, dang, man, that could have been me.
Right.
I'm going to look at it with this uniform on. It's people that don't like me. As soon as they don't take the time to get to know me and have a conversation with me, they don't like me because I decided to pursue this profession.
Very true.
And they may want to try and take my life, just like they took Deputy Dollywall's life, not realizing how much good he was doing in the community. You see what I'm saying? Yes, it does make you be like, man, I got to be careful. Is it going to make me be like, I'm going to pull my gun on everybody? No, it's going to make me tighten up, because with being a human comes human nature to get comfortable doing these routine traffic stops where you get out, get it, run it, everything good, have a good day. Get out, run it, everything good, go on about your day. Yeah. And then when something like that happens, you be like, oh, dang, he was just doing his routine. Yeah. And then, boom, everything changed.
That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying? Is it going to make me think that everybody's going to pull a gun out on me? No. But is it going to make me ask people to keep their hands outside the car like I asked y'all to do? Like I told you I do? Yes.
Naturally.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's always a possibility that something like that can happen.
It's the unknown, man.
Even if it happened one in the whole year. it's still a possibility because it didn't happen already.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a possibility, you know.
Yeah.
Man,
I have a question too.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
My question is this. All right. They have a movie coming out called Queen and Slim. All right. I don't know if y'all seen it.
Bonnie and Clyde, yeah.
Yes. Now, I just feel this. I feel people are gonna watch this movie, and a whole nother movement is gonna happen. This is what I feel like. This is what I see coming. Maybe wrong, maybe right. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is, do you think there will ever be a such thing as self-defense when it comes to an outraged officer?
Yeah.
Because, like, okay, like if two civilians get into it, that's self-defense. If they pull a weapon on them or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
If an officer roll up on you and he's outraged and he just so happen to pull a weapon on you and you pull a weapon back and you just so happen to get him first, do you ever think there's going to be a self-defense clause in that from a civilian to an officer?
Nah, that's a tough question, but
very tough.
But nah, unfortunately, nah, man. Unfortunately, nah. I don't see that happening like that. Because then it would be like my word against yours, and let's watch the camera and see who was scared first and who was justified. And it's just, I mean, at the end of the day, man, everybody that got this uniform on is human. And everybody who walk around here without the uniform on are human. Right. And nobody deserves to take anybody else's life. So if somebody pulls a gun out on me while I'm trying to do my job, I'm going to try and defend myself so I can go home. But at the end of the day, like, you have a job to provide the best service when somebody comes in your establishment, right? Mm-hmm. It's our job to show up when we're called and to try and find a solution to a problem, right? And to try and help someone get out of a situation, right? That comes in several different, like I told you, from traffic stops on to somebody calling 911. At the end of the day, it's not our job to go into it to try and see who we can make mad and then pull our gun out and justify taking somebody's life. Like, I don't, that's one of the things, the first things that kids ask me when I go speak to them. You ever shot somebody? Nah, I don't want to shoot nobody. I don't want to get shot. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, that's my list of things not to do. You know what I mean? But have I had to pull my gun on people? Yes. Because, you know, if somebody breaks in an apartment and I don't know if they in there with a gun, you know what I'm saying? I got to clear that apartment with my gun out. And if I come across them hiding somewhere, I'm going to have to give them commands to come to me with their hands behind their back. Now, if they get their gun out and point it at me, am I going to sit there and be like, oh, dang, are they justified in taking my life before I take that? No. Why you ain't put your hands behind your back? You doing something wrong. You see what I'm saying? So I don't think that, unfortunately, there'll ever be a time where the public is going to be justified in taking self-defense against law enforcement. I just think that it's the nature of the beast. If as police officers, it's our job to try and enforce the law. It's also our job to show respect and not abuse our authority. Right?
Oh, man, that was one of my questions.
You see what I'm saying? So, and like I told you, if you ever feel like somebody is abusing their authority, do what you got to do to file a complaint.
Right, absolutely.
Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Now, Officer Jeremy, where can we go? And you know, when we decide we need to file a complaint, like I mean, you mentioned the department. Do we go downtown? Or is there a phone number that we call?
I would tell you, always go in person. I will tell you, if you ever come in contact with us, always go in person and go to the police headquarters, which is 1200 Travis. 1200 Travis. Okay, that's downtown. That's where I work at. Okay. And so the IAD, which is like the police that police the police, they're the ones that handle those investigations. And if you go there, it's like they have no bias. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is a case coming across my desk. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And they have to do their job.
They got to do their job.
Is to police the police.
Exactly.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
So really quick, I'd like to take a second to just kind of see if maybe we could get a few calls, not too much. We're about to wrap it up. So really quick, guy, I know we're on a time schedule here, but I wanted to give you guys a chance, for those of you who are viewing us at the time. There's a number in place right now that you guys can call up right now, and if you have a question or two, we could ask Officer Jeremy right now. You know what I'm saying? Or anything that you might have in concern with regards to, an experience you might have or something that you might be curious about. The number is 713-843-7376. That's 713-843-7376. And we'll take just but a few calls if you guys would like. You guys welcome to call that number right now if you have any questions. So basically it's I think we gathered quite a bit, in a little bit of time that we was here. And he asked the question, that was exactly what I was about to ask, because of the situation that took place in Dallas where the young lady walked into somebody's house and didn't know that was not hers and drew down and took this guy out. You know what I'm saying? Like I know they got stand your ground law in Texas, and exactly what he was saying. They don't have it? Not no more?
I think the stand your ground law is in Florida.
Oh, so okay.
You got the law in Texas where if somebody comes in your house, you had a right to protect your property using a gun. If you're not a felon, you don't have a gun. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then a lot of people get misconstrued with the law as far as with cars. I'll share this with your listeners too. You don't have to have a CHL to carry a gun in your car. If you're over 21 and you don't have a felony, like I said, you can carry your gun with you in the car as long as it's concealed.
Right.
So when you leave your apartment or your house and you walk into your car and somebody runs up on you, does something, you have a right to defend yourself.
Right.
If you're in your car, you go to the gas pumps, you pumping gas, somebody tries to do something, sitting in your car, you have a right to defend yourself. When you go to H-E-B or Walmart and you get out of the car, you take that gun in there, you don't have that CHL, you're breaking the law.
Yes.
When you come home and you park,
of course,
and you go in the house, somebody tries to break in your house while you're in your house, don't shoot them through the door. You can't shoot them in the backyard. You can't shoot them on your porch. If they come in your window or come in across your the platform of your door, entrance, then you have the right to defend yourself. All that stand your ground stuff, that's not here.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's not it.
No, well, I might have been
information also.
That's
great information.
What?
Like, say, you see them trying to break, and their intention is to come.
Man, I would say just to
wait
keep it. Just to keep. I'm saying what's the difference between them? Because they might get scared and see you and take off running. You know what I'm saying? Before they actually come into your house, and then you it's your word against theirs. Well, it's your word against whoever.
I'm just
you see what I'm saying? So
about a preventive measure.
Yeah, it is preventive.
Wait till he comes.
No, what I'm saying is what's the difference between if he trying to get in the window right here, you shoot him at the window, then when he stick his head or stick his arm in the window, he's still in the window. You saying, but you justified once he breaks that threshold.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And when I was in class, when I was getting my CHL, the guy used that as an illustration too. He said, if a guy, he asked a question. He said, if a guy break your window and his body is partially in your house, he said, you have the right to take him out. He said, you have the right. Yes. That's if he's
like, no, you already broke the window.
If he had the window about to break your glass and you see him and you shoot through your window, I don't think that's justified.
Nah, you can't.
Oh, wow, because you don't know what the outcome is.
Because he might see you. You might, could yell to give the phrase, freeze.
And he run off.
If you shoot him, like officer said, he's not in he didn't cross that threshold.
But this is particular to the house, not just the property. So what if he's breaking onto land? Say you're not just in the house, you got land.
Yeah.
And these people jump the fence.
I mean, trespassing is if you got no trespassing signs, you ask them to leave, they refuse to leave. That's different. But just because he hopped your fence and he in your backyard, nah. Once he crossed that threshold of your house, like you said, then you good.
So I have a question, officer. In my instance, I am technically considered a felon. I sat down with an attorney maybe a few months ago, and he educated me in detail what my stance is on my legal situation when it comes to I'm not permitted at all. You know what I'm saying? So I have a wife, I have 2 boys. I never really had to use this type of protection in my whole life. I thank God for that. But in an instance where something takes place, am I allowed in any way to defend the home?
What did he tell you?
No, well, actually, he was saying that he said that because of the nature or the type of charge, even though it's been over 10 years, he said I'll never be able to own. And then I have other people that say that could be that could change, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I would say, man, like, get something on paper.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Telling whether you can or can't. Because
Okay.
I don't want to tell you the wrong information.
No, got you.
And you know what I mean? So I would say if you can get something, like you can get them to print out the penal code or law or whatever where there's a provision where you can, then you're good. You know what I'm saying? But until then, don't even put yourself.
No, true indeed.
Yeah.
True. Let me ask you, have you ever witnessed individuals who have situations like mine get a CHL in the future, or has it never happened?
I can't say that I have.
can't? Okay,
Nah,
okay.
but I will. Can't say that I have.
Got you.
I'll talk to y'all outside.
Yeah, nah, I got you. But
so they're saying that you can't own a weapon right now, or can you own a weapon?
well, what he was saying is
But you
because
just can't get your CHL.
Nah, you can't have one.
the way he broke it down was because they classed me with this charge. He said it doesn't matter if it's 80 years from now. He said you're not allowed to have a CHL. So that was good information for me because, like I said, in Jersey you're not allowed to.
Not at all.
You're not allowed to have
Hey,
license
you
and
can have
carry none of that.
Oh, word?
Yeah, in Trinidad you're not allowed. You see people
Oh,
with
Trinidad?
no, you're not allowed. These crimes are yeah, but not
Oh,
only
so
that.
you can't have guns out there?
No, you're not. To say you like for instance, you could go to a gun store, or pawn shop, and buy a pistol out here. You can't do that in Jersey or New York.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's why the charge is so much.
it's severe.
They even catch you with one.
Yeah, and then they charge you. They go as far as charging you per bullet in the gun. Yeah. So it's pretty. It could get.
Man.
So if you're fully loaded, you know what you about to. You know what I mean?
You're going to have you for a little while, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that was so far this is good, man. So far we about to close it up because I was kind of trying to give some people, you know, they making comments here, but I wanted them to call. Okay, he said I don't need a carry license as long as the gun is concealed.
Yeah,
That's true.
he just said
Okay.
that.
Okay, yeah. So he just said that. Yeah, he just said that. So let me see. Okay, just see. Yeah, man. So basically, man, we're gonna wrap it up just about now. I really think that we got some vital information to go forward with, and I really appreciate, you know, Officer Jeremy for joining us here, man, because he really didn't have to, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's a blessing. I just want people out there to know that there are guys that are out here in uniform as credible as Officer Lehar right here.
Appreciate it,
I think we should consider, you know what I'm saying, especially us African American, because really and truly it's separated. You know, it's a different situation when we stand on the opposite side of the courtroom. So it's just good to know these small key things that could kind of change the dynamics of whether or not you have a positive or negative outcome when you have a run-in with, you know, law enforcement. You know what I mean? And man, officer, I appreciate you. I thank you so much
appreciate y'all for having me, man.
for
Thank
coming
you.
and being
Appreciate
a part of the show. Money, it's good to have you as usual. Thank you so much for joining us. You know what I'm saying?
Always a pleasure, my
And
brother.
in closing, man, I'd like to say, you know, something that I feel like we should merit, you know what I'm saying, in moving forward. Before me, there was none. After me, there will be many. Hate, jealousy, and envy are amongst the few, but for all that, we have remedy. And basically what that means, you should want to make some sort of change. Like you should want to be the reason that a change occurred, you know, some sort of you generated some sort of inspiration for somebody else to want to make a change, you know what I'm saying? And this way we can now multiply a positive effect, you know what I'm saying, as we move forward. And you know, we could sit around all day and talk foolishness, but why not put some honor on it. You know what I mean? I just want to thank you guys for being a part of the Men of Honor show. And we will be back with you guys really soon. I'll have a book for y'all next episode, not this one. You know what I'm saying? I usually give them a book.
Okay.
And I refer them to a book that they can read. Do you have any books right off the top of your head that, you know, they could open to educate themselves on the laws and things like that?
Oh, the laws.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. When I'm off work, I don't do nothing. I don't talk about nothing police because I don't identify.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm reading Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying? Thoughts of success, how to be successful.
Oh,
Those are the type of books I read.
Got you. I could only imagine, man. I could only imagine about how much of these trauma calls you deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, man. Yeah, unfortunately we see things that, you know, your regular person may never come in contact or come across in their life, and we'll see them depending on where you're working at on a daily basis. Like I can't even count how many, you know, deceased people's bodies.
Yeah.
And because if somebody dies of natural causes, or whether it's a crime or a car accident, like we're first responders. We're the first ones on the scene. We're the ones that come across that. And it does have an effect on us. Yeah. And I remember it's one of the questions that you sent to me. And they do have psychological services available for us at no charge. Okay. And I'm big on, like, I don't really care about what people think, so I want to go ahead and get rid of that negative stigma. Like, it's good to go and talk to people. Yeah. Whether everything's good or everything's bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you can't talk to your partners about everything, especially if they're not in this profession. You absolutely can. I definitely encourage any type of law enforcement to go and speak to somebody, because the stuff that you see, it does have an effect on you, whether it be negative or positive. Because I can speak on kids. Whenever I come across stuff with kids, it makes me go home and hug my kids a little bit harder. You know, appreciate. And whenever I came across stuff with women, I'm real big on, like, dudes putting their hands on females or you know, sexual assaults and stuff like that. I think about my mom and my sister. So and my daughters now. You know what I mean? So that's a part of the job, man. That's what you signed up for. Everybody ain't able to do this job, but if you have common sense and you know how to talk to people with respect, it could be a job for you.
Real quick, how many kids do you have?
I have 3.
How many girls and boys? 2 girls and a boy. The boy is the oldest?
You youngest.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I have 2 boys, and it's something that they've seen me in traffic stop, and you know, I'm one of those guys that not scared to show emotion in front of my son, because I don't want him to be desensitized. You know what I'm saying? I feel it's important for us to be able to show some form of empathy towards somebody else. You know, and like you said earlier, it's a karma effect. You know, I really treat you the way I'd like to be treated. And I can't really just go around mistreating people, because my day gonna come, you know what I'm saying? I really believe that. So it's a beautiful thing to see that you look at, you know, things from that perspective as well. Because all the officers, they really don't.
Yeah, I mean, we all human behind this uniform and this badge. Yeah. And unfortunately, you got some people who was on the bench in sports, and they really didn't get a chance to be in the mix in high school, so once they got out, they got in the academy and got the uniform, and now they feel like
got a point to
that's
prove.
Who they identify with. If you didn't have an identity before you became a police officer, that's all you identify with. You know what I'm saying? So I don't identify with being a police officer. I don't like talking about law enforcement when I'm off. I'm talking about the Texans, the Rockies, the Astros, right? I got you. So because that's who I feel like me as a person is bigger than me as a law enforcement. I like being an officer because I like helping people. But I think that's where people kind of get confused, and then they kind of go left with it as far as talking to people sideways and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, man, we're gonna close it, bro. I hope that you guys have grabbed some sort of, you know, inspiration or some level of comfort from what we was able to discuss today. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate y'all, man. Much love, and may the grace of God follow you on them streets. You know what I'm saying? Travel safe. Peace.